Sebastian Nicholas Stephen Wocker, you have been accused of theft of a motor vehicle and also of being in possession of a Class B drug. You have pled guilty, and I sentence you to 6 months in custody. Magistrate. Hampstead Magistrates Court, 1984. I'd run out of drugs and couldn't sleep, so had decided to take Effie the dog out for a little trot around the manor. Effie Breest had enjoyed a happy puppyhood, but now, a fully grown Newfoundland bitch, she carried with her an air of melancholy. She was, of course, originally Dame Genevieve Harrington III of Gloucestershire, or some such nonsense. It said so on her breeder's certificate. Yet now, wandering the streets with a using addict at 3 a.m, she was, I suppose, what you might refer to as fallen aristocracy. For the most part hidden under the kitchen table, Effie wore an almost permanently worried frown. This she had most probably picked up after witnessing the concerned expressions of my mum and our cleaner Lucille, both of whom were at their wits' end regarding their respective sons. Lucille's son, Marcus, was apparently as severely addicted as myself, and the two women spent most mornings sitting at the kitchen table, paining over what it was they were to do with us. I'd often stumble downstairs at around noon to find them plotting some recovery scheme or other over instant coffee and cigarettes. I knew this because whenever I arrived there'd be this conspiratorial hush. Then they'd finish up, make their excuses and swiftly disappear. Sometimes I even thought I overheard words like rehab or therapy or something or other anonymous. To say the vibes between myself and my mother had become frosty would be an understatement. My addiction absolutely detested her, and of course, whatever my addiction said went. The point of all this being that even Effie the dog had by now been emotionally affected and had entered into a canine depression, proof, where it needed, that the collateral damage of addiction knows no bounds. Nevertheless, the word "walkies" always perked her up, and on this particular night, Effie was, as ever, happy to hear it. I'd taken her on a little midnight run, and as we walked through Oriel Place, we chanced upon an abandoned moped lying on its side outside the Citizens' Advice Bureau. It was a flimsy little Vespino job, one of those you'd see old men in berets ride around small French villages at 5 kilometres per hour, usually with 100 kilos of onions dangling from the side. The thing had pedals, but no ignition or locks to speak of, and as far as I could tell, all I had to do was pedal it a bit and off I'd go. "What do you think, Effie? Should we have a go?" "Yeah, why not?" she replied, or at least that's how I interpreted the quizzical look upon her face. I got on, pedalled. It started, and off I sped towards the high street, Effie galloping behind me at considerable pace, down the paved lane, across the zebra crossing, and into Falstaff Walk. "Come on, Effie!" I laughed as her tongue flapped gaily from the side of her mouth. She was doing a pretty good job of keeping up, and, I dare say, it was the happiest moment she and I had shared together since she was a pup. Back in Wellington Walk, I stashed the Vespino in the front landing for safekeeping, my vague plan being to get down to Bernardo's and exchange it for some weed the following day. Domestic boundaries have never been a using addict's strongest asset, and I arose to arduous complaints from my poor, long-suffering mother. I'd completely ruined the carpet in the hallway with tread marks and small puddles of oil that had dripped from the moped throughout the night. So it was with some haste, and mainly to escape her wrath, that I called Bernardo and drove the blasted thing down to Southend Green.